Have you seen a border collie around here? When did you get here? Hey guys, I wanted to do this special upload right now because we're thinking of you and we know that everyone is going through a very unique time with this coronavirus, and virtually everyone around the world is affected by this in one way or another. Today, I wanted to address some of the most common questions we're receiving regarding the COVID-19 virus and how it affects dogs and us with our dogs. How have you guys been affected by coronavirus so far? I mean, are you self-isolating? Are you going about business as usual? Bree and I and the dogs are practicing mostly self-isolating right now. I mean, we'll go outside and to the park and places like that, which the experts seem to say is pretty much safe, but we're not going in crowds, of course, and we're trying to be really smart about those that we go around. I'm actually here in Atlanta right now. As you'll find out in an upcoming video, this is a second house that we purchased here in Atlanta, but we've even been refraining from visiting with family while here until we get more information and understand these variables a little bit more. Because the concerning thing to us right now is that the variables aren't very well known. And to us, it kind of seems like a classic better safe than sorry scenario. And that's the approach we're taking. But how are you guys dealing with it? Tell me in the comments below, because we're all in this together and we're just trying to figure out how to make all this work. As you'll understand, one of the most important things when raising a new dog, especially a young dog, is adequate socialization with the world. Now, I never anticipated we'd be in a scenario like this, which can make it much more challenging to get out there and socialize your dog and give them experience with the world when we're told to stay home or stay away from large gatherings and things like that. But I do think there are some workarounds that we can go over, and that's kind of some of the things that I wanted to talk about today. Since new social norms are in place for the next many weeks to months around the world, we all really have to reevaluate how we give our dogs, especially really young dogs, that critical life experience that they do need early in life. And that's because close contact, especially with other strangers, is something that we all really need to avoid right now. Before we get into tips on that though, let's cover the obvious question that I was wondering, and I think many of you probably were wondering as well. Can dogs get this virus? Currently, based on our research, there's no evidence that dogs can become ill due to COVID-19, at least as of the recording of this video. There have been cases of dogs testing weak positive when they are living with an infected person, but it's not currently suspected that these dogs can transmit the virus to humans. So now, the good news is it looks like our dogs are safe, which is certainly great news. So now let me address some of your socialization questions that you've been asking about. Keep in mind, there is a lot more to socializing a dog than giving them lots of introductions to people and dogs at close range. Socializing your dog includes showing them everything you can, but there are ways to do that and still be safe at the same time right now. Even when socializing your dog around other people, it's not necessarily imperative that your dog interact directly at close range with people. In other words, you can have huge socialization benefits by giving your dog exposure to people at great distances so that they can see and hear and smell different people from different proximities and take in information that way. One of the few public places right now that does seem acceptable for us to go to are public parks. This is something we've been taking great advantage of right now because it's very easy to keep your distance from other people and still do stuff with your dog. Public parks are some of my favorite places to socialize and just train dogs in general because they can get so many new experiences by seeing, smelling, and experiencing everything. So if you are socializing a young dog or a puppy right now, let them experience as much as they can, but from a safe distance. Another question you guys have been asking is it safe to socialize your dog with other dogs right now? As we discussed earlier, we don't think it's likely that dogs can transmit the virus to people. So you'll need to use some caution. I mean, the danger here is that you're more likely to be close to strangers. Say you go to a dog park, for example, to give your dog some social time. But dog-to-dog interactions seem pretty safe right now, at least relative to this virus. There may be other reasons that you don't want your dog interacting with other dogs though. So really the big question is, how do we keep our dogs occupied while we're social distancing right now? Whether you're self-isolating or it's mandatory in your area right now, this is a great excuse to spend a lot of time with our dogs, training them stuff, right? It's also a great way to keep you occupied and keep you from going crazy too, hopefully. I mean, naturally, daily walks and leash practice, which can be particularly challenging with many dogs, is something that you can give a lot of priority to right now. For example, when you're teaching your dog to walk on leash, it's no secret that you've got to be very patient. You really have to adopt this I've got all day attitude. And fortunately, right now, many of us actually do have all day. So it's a good time to play some extra fetch with them at the park or in your backyard or even indoors if you must. One of the things that I like to encourage people to do with their dogs when they're training them is to teach tricks, and a variety of tricks, because it's always keeping your dog engaged, and the person really tends to get in a great mood when they're teaching their dog a trick. So it's a wonderful bonding opportunity as well. Wait. No, you gotta wait for me. You know, PetFlow is one of our sponsors here on this channel. And since we all need to avoid being in public, now is a great time to set up automatic pet food delivery too. And they make it very easy to have your dog's food shipped right to your front door. You choose the food you want and tell them how often you want it there, and it's there. They're gonna give you $30 to try it out. That's $10 off your first 3 automatic shipments when you enter code ZACH30. I'll have all of the details in the description below. Don't forget to share your suggestions on things to do with your dogs in the comments, you know, things that you found to be pretty successful in your situation, and let me know how you're doing too. See you next time.